These are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome everyone to our very first webinar in 2017 in our DAAD webinar series. And today our topic is pursuing graduate studies at the Freie Universität Berlin and LMU Munich. I'm very happy today that I have with me Dr. Katja Simons. She's the Executive Director of the German University Alliance of the Freie University Berlin and the Ludwig-Maximilian University Munich. And she is located in New York, so she's local here. You see her email address on the slide, and you can always get in touch with her, but she will also, of course, speak with us today, and you have the opportunity to ask her any questions today, but also later on if you have any questions after the webinar. My name is Hani Geist. I'm the DAAD representative for the Western region of the United States, and I will talk to you today a little bit more about DAAD opportunities. And as you can see here, my email address is daadsf@daad.org. And of course, you can also today ask any questions about possible funding that's available to you if you would like to study at the universities in Germany, in Berlin or Munich. So today's agenda, we'll talk a little bit about DAAD and the scholarships that are available to you if you would like to pursue either a master's degree or a PhD degree in Germany, or if you would like to do research at the Freie Universität Berlin, for example, or LMU Munich. And then you will hear in more detail about studying in Germany and pursuing a graduate degree in Germany in general, but then Katja Simons will also go into detail specifically about the two universities and the master's and PhD programs that they offer. And she will also talk to you about studying in Germany and living in Germany, the cost of living, and where to find more information about being a student in Germany and being a graduate student in Germany. And then at the end, we have ample time to go over your questions. And you will actually be able to ask these questions at any point during the presentation. I will collect these questions and then we'll moderate the Q&A at the very end. Before we start the webinar, I'd like to go over some housekeeping. So I record the webinar. I will upload the webinar later on to our website, daad.org, and I will share the link with you so you can view the presentation later again or share it with fellow students or maybe your colleagues who are interested in studying in Germany or learning more about the opportunities in Germany. And I will also upload the presentations that I give to you today, but also the presentation about the Freie Universität Berlin and the LMU Munich. And of course, you can contact us later on as well. If you're not familiar with the webinar tool, you're all muted. Your panel looks a little bit different from my organizer panel, but you do have the function, the question function that you see here, and you're able to type in any questions at any point. If they're quick questions, I may answer them right away. Otherwise, as I said earlier, I will collect them and then I will ask these questions later on in our Q&A at the very end. So let's jump right in. What is DAAD? So DAAD is the National Agency for International Academic Cooperation and Exchange. And simply put, that means we're the higher education arm of the German government. DAAD represents higher education abroad, and we do provide general information about studying in Germany, doing research in Germany on the undergraduate level, but up to the established researcher level. And we do provide several scholarships really on all academic levels, at all stages, and in all disciplines. So regardless of where you want to study in Germany, what you would like to study, whether it be in German or in English, there are funding opportunities available, and I will go into detail today about two funding opportunities that are available specifically for the purpose of graduate studies and research in Germany. And just to give you an overview, a general overview, DAAD provides study abroad, research abroad. We offer opportunities for internships, and in most cases you will receive a monthly stipend. If it's a shorter stay, it will be lump sum. Again, you can study a degree program that's offered entirely in English, or you can just take classes in English or German. It doesn't matter what language your program is. It just has to make sense, and you have to be able to speak the language that is necessary to successfully either pursue your studies or conduct your research in Germany. You will always receive health insurance through DAAD, and then for some grants you also receive some travel reimbursement. And now let's jump in and right into the opportunities that are available to students that are interested in pursuing a master's degree in Germany. You will hear later on more about actual degree programs that are offered in Berlin and Munich. But this grant is really for any degree program offered in English or in German, and you can apply as a senior to apply for funding for 2 full years to pursue masters. And so this is really a scholarship for you to pay the living expenses. You will receive 750 euros, which right now that's approximately $850 a month. You will receive health insurance, liability insurance, and a travel stipend to and from Germany. And so if there are any additional costs involved, like the tuition fees, for example, which in most cases there won't be, and Katja will go into a little bit more detail later on, that won't be covered, but all the living expenses should be covered with the 750 euros. Just to give you an idea, really, most students they don't need more than 700 euros to 1,000 euros, depending on in what city they are. As you know, here also in the United States, some cities are a lot more affordable in terms of rent than maybe other cities. But in Germany, really, students are able to rent either shared housing or their own apartment, one-bedroom apartment, for anywhere between 200 euros to 400, 500 euros. And this is really affordable, and so the monthly stipend that you received is really very generous. There is one deadline per year, and this is always for the whole academic year. So if you would like to study and pursue your degree starting next year in October, you would have to apply this year, November 4th, to receive the funding. If you are interested in starting this year and you missed the deadline last year, you're always welcome to apply this year to then receive funding for your second year. And you can find more information about this grant on our website on daad.org with the link provided here on the slide. And then the second funding opportunity that I wanted to mention today is the research grant, which is available to students who would like to pursue a PhD in Germany, so to receive funding for 3 years for the PhD. But this is also available for undergraduate students who would like to, during their gap year, do research at a German university or a research facility, or for students in their master's or PhD program in the US who would like to just do some short-term or long-term research while they're pursuing a degree in the United States. As you can see, the stipend is a little bit more generous than the one for the master's students, but again, travel stipend is included, and also health and liability insurance. There are 2 deadlines for this grant, but please keep in mind that for the long-term one, there's only 1 deadline in November, but there are 2 deadlines for the short-term grants. Again, more information on the grant, but also on how to apply. You can find more information on our website. And so with that, I would like to conclude just guiding you to our social media accounts, where you can always find more information also on upcoming scholarships and grants, upcoming webinars, and other opportunities in Germany. So with that, I would like to hand over the microphone and move to Katja's presentation about the Freie Universität Berlin and LMU Munich. Katja, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Hani. Hello from New York City. My name is Katja, and I'm the director of the German University Alliance, a joint liaison office of two top German universities, Freie Universität Berlin and LMU München. Our office connects North American students and faculty with study and research opportunities in Berlin and Munich. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook, and we would love to stay in touch with you after this webinar. Studying in Germany has become even more popular in the past years. These headlines from the media point to the growing interest in Germany. From the Institute of International Education, IIE's Open Doors findings, we know that over 11,000 undergraduate students in the US chose Germany as their study abroad destination in 2014-15. This reflects a 6% increase over the year before. But what do we know about US students going for a full degree abroad? IIE's Project Atlas collects data on US students pursuing degree programs abroad. Most US students pursue their degrees in English-speaking countries, including Canada. Germany is ranked number 1 in non-Anglophone host country. The most recent Project Atlas data shows that 2,800 US students study for a full degree in Germany. The vast majority of those students, more than 2/3, are full degree master students. 24% are enrolled on the undergraduate level and around 14% on the doctoral level. This webinar will cover information on how to pursue an advanced degree in Germany, in particular at Freie Universität Berlin and at LMU München. We know that there are many good reasons for pursuing a graduate degree. It's a competitive job market, and many employers are looking for graduates with an advanced degree. Graduate studies allows you to explore the subject previously studied in greater depth or to branch out into new areas of knowledge. But why get your degree in Germany? Because universities like Freie Universität Berlin and LMU München are at the top of the international league. They offer excellent conditions for studying and doing research. A degree from Germany is recognized around the world. It documents a globally accredited academic training, and Germany is known for offering high-quality degrees. Second, there has been a significant increase in English-taught master and doctoral programs. Third, it's worthwhile to look at the programs offered abroad in case you can't find graduate programs in your desired field at home. Another advantage of pursuing a degree abroad is learning new approaches to your chosen field. Fourth, at public research universities like at Freie Universität Berlin and LMU Munich, no or low tuition is charged. And lastly, the universities are international and prepared to welcome international students. They have a comprehensive welcome and support structure in place, and there's a genuine interest in international students. To sum up, in addition to potential academic enhancement, students may also experience career enhancement from pursuing an international degree program in Germany. Some employers may view this experience as increasing a job candidate's awareness, social skills, and cultural sensitivity. The job market is generally highly competitive, and gaining this kind of international experience may potentially enable your application to stand out from the pack. It is helpful to do whatever you can to distinguish yourself among your peers. And now let's have a look at the academic degree structure. Since the Bologna Declaration, we have a common structure of comparable degrees in Europe. There's a 3-cycle structure in place. The first cycle leads to an undergraduate or bachelor education, and which is obtained after successful completion of a 3 to 4 year study program. The second cycle leads to a 2-year master's qualification. There are 2 different types of master degrees at German universities. You can choose to build on your previously completed undergrad degree by choosing a master program in the same field. At the 2 universities I represent, many master degrees are research-oriented masters. Many of these research-oriented master programs are aligned with doctoral programs, so they are kind of a stepping stone towards a PhD. There are also professional master degrees that usually require some work experience and are intended for professionals who are interested in broadening their existing knowledge and experience. Doctoral study concludes the 3rd cycle. Doctoral studies in Germany range from an individual doctorate to a structured program. Often these structured programs are called graduate schools in Germany. And I admit that this can be a bit confusing to an American audience, since graduate schools in Germany typically requires you to have a master degree before enrolling. However, there are some programs that are open to students with a bachelor degree too. And you can see this in the box below. Qualified students holding a bachelor's degree may be recommended for a PhD fast track, linking master and PhD programs if applicable, which means if the program you chose offers this option. No, next. Wait, my slide is not going. I'm trying to move to the next slide, but it doesn't. Maybe it's coming up. Let me see. That's funny. I have to see if I can.
Can you manually?
Yeah, I'm trying to
go into the on the left, on the bottom of the slide. There are some arrows. Are you able to press one of those buttons?
Now it works.
Oh, there you
somehow.
go. Yeah, sometimes it freezes.
Yeah.
Technology is great when it works.
Exactly. All right. The next few minutes, I'm going to talk about how to apply to a master program, and then also share some information on how doctoral studies are organized at Freie Universität and at LMU Munich. Let's first talk briefly about language requirements. As I said earlier, there are a growing number of English taught master programs. For those programs, you don't need to prove any German skills. Proficiency in English is required, but if you received your undergrad degree from an institution with English as an official language, or if you're a native speaker, you don't need to certify English language skills. However, other languages may be required for certain subjects. And if you're enrolling in a German-taught program, you will need to submit proof of language proficiency. I've mentioned a few language certificates on this slide, like Deutsche Sprachprüfung für Hochschulzugang oder Test DAF. But the most important advice I can give you is to always check with which language requirements are needed and which certificates are accepted by the university of your choice. So, in addition, I would like to mention a few procedures and requirements when applying to a master program. A general requirement for applying to a master program is a bachelor degree. It's important to know that not every undergraduate degree qualifies you for every master program. In many cases, you are required to have a certain bachelor degree or certain credit points in a specific field of study. You also have to prove that you are qualified. How you're asked to prove this varies. It could either be through an excellent undergraduate grade or through a selection process or an exam or both. Also, the application procedures vary. For example, if you apply to a master program at LMU Munich, you will have to submit your application directly to the university. Several application steps are involved. Step 1 would be at LMU you will need to apply for admissions directly to the appropriate master study office, and you will find all the templates and forms necessary for prospective master students on the homepage of each master program. And then when you have your admission letter or before the deadline, you will also need to pre-register with the international office. And how does the application process work in Berlin? If you earned your degree in a country other than Germany, you are required to submit your application to FU Berlin via UniAssist. You can see this on the slide. You may select a maximum of 2 master's programs to apply to, and UniAssist reviews whether the application meets the formal prerequisites established by Freie Universität. Subject-specific entry requirements are not checked by UniAssist, but by the selection commission of the university's department. A piece of advice: in general, the processing of an application takes about 4 to 6 weeks through UniAssist. Towards the end of the application period, it takes even longer. Therefore, we recommend that you submit your application at least 4 weeks or more before the deadline. Otherwise, you cannot be informed in time about missing documents by UniAssist. And please don't hesitate to contact the universities directly when you have studied the respective program websites and have additional questions. Every master program has a coordinator, and you can direct questions to the coordinator. Finally, most programs start in the winter semester, which goes from October to February, and some programs start in the summer term, which goes from April to July. And Achtung, there are various deadlines. Some end in March, April, or others in May or June. So you should check carefully each program individually to see what deadlines they offer. Next, I'd like to go over a few features of the third cycle, the doctorate. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to do a PhD in Germany, you can either pursue an individual doctorate or study in a structured program. And remember, in order to apply for an individual doctorate, and also for most doctoral programs, you will need a master's degree or a similar degree. For international students going for a doctorate to Germany, I recommend a structured program, as you are much better integrated into a network and a curriculum. Nonetheless, I'd like to just briefly mention how to apply for an individual doctorate. Key to this path is to find a supervisor who agrees to supervise you. You're free to choose your subject, and you will submit a project outline so that you can discuss this with the supervisor and then conclude a supervision agreement. You will also have to submit a request for acceptance as a doctoral candidate at the examination office and then apply for university admission. And then you can also, of course, discuss funding with your supervisor. The largest awarder of scholarships is, of course, the DAAD in Germany. And you can always get information from the DAAD office here in the States. When you're applying for a doctorate in a structured program, you will select a suitable program. And in this case, you might have several supervisors. You will have to apply by the respective deadline of the program, and you can find the calls for application on the program websites. Many of them are currently ongoing, and the selection process is, of course, competitive. In the event of successful application, the program provides then support with further administrative steps. And there are also various funding opportunities available. Sometimes the program offers grants or a paid position, and sometimes you will have to look for external funding. Let's look at the cost of living and studying in Berlin and Munich. Hani already mentioned a few aspects of this. Because of the low or no tuition charged at Freie Universität and at LMU München, studying there is affordable. Students just pay a semester fee that usually includes a public transportation ticket and free access to cultural institutions. So it's not just a fee, you really get something for it. In Berlin, it includes access to the large metropolitan transportation network, and that is why the fee is a bit higher in Berlin than in Munich. But if you want access to the larger network in München, you will also have to pay a little bit more. And the average cost of living is usually higher in Munich than in Berlin because of the housing market, but accommodation in Berlin is getting more expensive lately. You can find information on housing on the university's websites, and the most important advice is start the hunt early. This webinar focuses on earning a full degree in Germany, but nonetheless, I wanted to mention that you can, of course, study abroad as a graduate student in Berlin and Munich. Hani mentioned in the introduction that the German Academic Exchange Service offers study scholarships and research grants. Other prestigious grants are offered by for example, by the Fulbright US Student Program. And another interesting opportunity for gaining international experience are the short-term summer or winter programs at Freie Universität. It's called FUBIS, and at LMU Munich it's called MISU, and these programs are also open to graduate students and young professionals. Okay, I will now introduce you to some highlights of Freie Universität Berlin and then present LMU Munich to you too. Yes, Freie Universität is of course located in Berlin, Germany's exciting and vibrant capital, an excellent place to be a student. Freie Universität Berlin, along with LMU Munich, is one of the 11 German universities that have been selected twice in the Excellence Initiative. This is a government-funded competition among the best German universities. If Freie Universität scores well on rankings, the Times Higher Ed ranking classifies Freie Universität among the 5 best universities in Germany, and number 72 worldwide, and as number 18 in the world for arts and humanities. Freie Universität is a large public university with a large international population and offers study courses in all subject areas from anthropology to veterinary medicine, and further it offers unique area studies and many other focus areas mentioned on this slide, from ancient civilizations to regenerative therapies, just to name a few. You can find a long list of English taught master and doctoral programs online. There are altogether over 104 master programs at Freie Universität, including 24 taught in English and over 50 doctoral degree programs. And it's worth mentioning that some master programs are featured on in the online assistant here, OSA. You can see that on the slide. There you can find detailed program description and even interviews with current students. So it's worth looking into that. For example, if you're interested in the Master of Science, Social, Cognitive, and Affective Neuroscience, or a Master of Arts in Sociology and European Societies, they have their modules, their interviews with students, and the program description online. And others are, of course, listed on their own websites in addition to that. Here you can see a selection of international master programs which are taught entirely in English. We have programs in the environmental, earth sciences, in global history, a Master of Business, Competition and Regulatory Law, Master of Arts in Visual and Media Anthropology, and also 2 online courses called International Relations and East European Studies. And every program has their own website, and most programs currently accept applications. Next, I will show you a selection of graduate schools in Berlin. For example, Berlin Graduate School on Muslim Cultures and Societies, Berlin School of Integrative Oncology, Graduate School of North American Studies, Graduate School of East Asian Studies, and so on. So there are many options in many fields, and many of these schools are also organized with other universities, like the one I'm briefly going to mention. It's the Berlin Math School. You'll see that in the left-hand corner. The Berlin Math School is coordinated jointly with the Technical University of Berlin and the Humboldt University, and it's unique as it accepts students who have a bachelor's degree. For students with only an undergraduate degree, there's a phase 1 that takes 3 to 4 semesters and prepares students for high-level research. And then phase 2 is for students who have completed a master's degree and are ready to pursue a PhD in math. This program also offers mentoring, soft skills, seminars, funding for conferences, and so on. Finally, on these 2 last slides of Freie Universität, I would like to mention that there is a Center for Early Career Researchers, the Dahlem Research School. It provides support and services for doctoral candidates, in particular career development support. It offers workshops and seminars for doctoral students so that they can develop research-related skills and management competencies. And in addition, there is a special support program for international candidates. It's called FU Bright. FU Bright offers welcome services, mentoring, mobility, and career support. So you can see also, you can find that online on the FU Berlin's website. Okay, and now I'm moving on to I'm concluding my presentation on Berlin, and will now move on to the south of Germany, to Ludwig-Maximilians Universität München. Munich is a fantastic city surrounded by the Bavarian Alps. It's a major hub for higher ed and research, technology, and media. And LMU Munich has a long outstanding tradition. It is ranked #1 in Germany. It is an even larger university than the Freie Universität Berlin, with over 50,000 students, offering all subject fields and with a research focus in ancient studies, area studies with emphasis on Eastern Europe, photonics, molecular biosystems, to translational health sciences, just to name a few. There are more than 130 master programs, and 24 of them are taught entirely in English, and you can find them all listed on the webpage. You can have a look at lmu.de and then look at the English language site, and then click to students, degree students, and master programs. And LMU has also a long list of doctoral programs, 35 programs in total, and you can find them on the Graduate Center's website. That is listed here. And now I'll move on to a few examples of master programs taught in English. For example, in Munich Center of Learning Sciences, the master program in American History, Culture, and Society. Then we have programs in biology, in physics, in economics, and a new program in data sciences, the last one listed here. LMU is the first university in Germany that offers an elite graduate program in data science in English. All right, and I'm going to just go back. Each of these programs has their own website that will, with all the necessary information on deadlines, application procedures, and so on. And each program is also, as I said before, coordinated by a dedicated program coordinator. And if you have questions that are not answered on the website, it's useful to contact them. Don't hesitate to do that and get more information from them directly. I would like to now highlight a program in neurosciences, since it's an integrated master and PhD training in neurosciences. It's an opportunity for especially qualified applicants holding a neuroscience-related bachelor's degree to directly enter a PhD program. Similar to the program I introduced to you for Berlin, the math school, this one also accepts undergraduate students. But this program offers a preparatory year for students holding an undergraduate degree. During the first 2 semesters of this fast-track program, students receive basic training in neuroscience, and afterward they would start their dissertation phase. You will find more information on this program online, of course. And on this slide, I'll just again mention a few graduate school programs at LMU Munich. Here we have the School for East and Southeast European Studies. We have the Graduate School of Language and Literature. We have the Graduate School of Quantitative Biosciences, Munich, and of Life Sciences, and so on. So many options to choose from, and many have actually a call for application currently going on. And finally, I'd like to introduce you to the LMU Graduate Center. Similar to the Dahlem Research School I mentioned on the last slides of the Berlin presentation, it is the central coordination and service unit for doctoral studies at LMU Munich, and they're there to optimize conditions for PhD students. The center offers advice and support for doctoral students as well as for professors and coordinators of doctoral programs. So it's like an umbrella for all the programs and also an umbrella for different services. What you can expect is information, advice, and support services, travel grants, and a wide range of courses in transferable skills and career development. So they really prepare you to think about what comes next after your PhD. When you complete your PhD, you will really have a path forward. And you can see the website there. They have comprehensive information about everything you need to know to complete a PhD at LMU München. Yeah, with this, I'm coming to an end of my presentation. All in all, there are excellent opportunities and options for graduate students at LMU München and at Freie Universität Berlin. We, the German University Alliance, we're a liaison office, and we offer advice and connect you with opportunities in Berlin and Munich. Please stay in touch. We're on Twitter and Facebook, and you can always email me or call me. You can see my phone number in New York, my email address. We also have a website that we'll launch a new one soon. The website is germanuniversities.org. And now I thank you for your interest and thanks for listening. With this, I will give over to Hani for your questions. Let's see if you have questions.
Yeah, thank you, Katja, for this great overview of the two universities and what they offer. I'm sure there are some questions in the audience. So if you have more questions, please type them up. I'm happy to share them with Katja and with the rest of the audience right now. But I did have one question about the DAAD application process before we go into questions for the specific universities. So you will see detailed information about the process and what documents to submit on the respective pages. But just to give you an overview, so for both the study scholarship to pursue studying in Germany and also the research grant to pursue either a PhD or to do research in Germany. For both, you will need a study or research proposal, transcripts of your degrees that you've already received, and a recommendation letter from a professor. And then you will have to include in your study purpose or your research proposal where you want to study or do your research. And this process is in both cases online, where you will submit an application and then submit a summary along with the recommendation letters to our New York offices. So you will apply online, but the actual application will be administered in the New York office. And so again, for a detailed description of how to submit it and what to submit, you will see on our DAAD.org website. And of course, you can always get in touch with me via phone or email if you have any follow-up questions. Now, I have a question for you, Katja. Do German universities offer joint or double degrees with institution abroad? So the Freie University Berlin and LMU Munich, do they offer double degree programs, joint programs with either the US or other countries?
Yes, that's great. Yeah, they offer double degree programs, and with, I think, in France, China, also maybe in the US, I'm not sure. I think we need to check that and get back to you later about that these opportunities, but they do offer double degree programs. Yes.
Okay. And then maybe you can answer that question, Katja, but then I can also add to your comment. Do you offer assistance in finding or connecting interested students with a PhD supervisor? Is that something that you can help with, or is there a website maybe you can suggest where students that are interested in connecting with researchers at the Freie Universität Berlin or LMU Munich will be able to somewhat easily get in touch with maybe prospective mentors?
Yeah, I think we can assist you with that, of course, and connecting you with professors at Freie Universität Berlin or at LMU München. Of course, it's important that when you are looking for a supervisor, you really know what field you want to do a PhD in, and then kind of have an idea of why you want to do it in Berlin at a specific institute or with a specific professor. Maybe you know from the literature, you know some people, and then I could introduce you, of course, if you like. But it's important that you do some research on your own about your subject that you want to study and why you want to do it in Berlin and with a specific supervisor. Every professor, of course, has their own website. So if you know your field, and you can always, of course, look for those people online. But please get in touch with me, and we can also discuss over the phone your ideas and the steps towards because this would be an individual doctorate, the one I mentioned, and yeah, I'd be happy to do that with you.
Mm-hmm. And just to add to that, so I just send you two websites. The first one is Research in Germany, and the second one is the Research Explorer that's managed by the German Research Foundation. And both of those websites can give you also there are databases on those websites where you can find researchers in your field, so that could also help you in identifying a prospective mentor. The next question is also about graduate studies, a PhD. This is specifically for neuroscience, and the student wants to learn about funding, and if the student gets accepted by a professor into his or her lab, will the lab or the graduate school fund me? And so I will be happy to add to what you have to say, Katja, but what is the procedure normally for the graduate schools? Do they offer automatically funding for prospective students, or would that be something that they have to apply to and potentially receive? Would you go into a little bit more detail about that?
Yeah, I think it's different from program to program, and some offer they have a call for applications for PhD grants, and then you would receive money and funding for your stay in Berlin or Munich, and some just offer a space, and then you would have to check with them about further funding. So I'm not sure about the neuroscience program if it's directly funded or not. But I can also look into that afterwards and see what options there are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I will actually parallel to speaking right now. The Research in Germany website has on their website a tab called Info Service, and on that website there are publications for you to download, and that's specifically or generally about studying or doing research in Germany, but there is one specific subject brochure about neuroscience. There are other brochures for other fields as well, and in this brochure you can find more information on the graduate schools that are available and the research centers, but that but you can also find or identify graduate schools there and potential labs specifically for your field in neuroscience. So I will post that in the question box here in a second, so you can download this brochure later on. Okay, let's jump to the next question. There are quite a few questions here, so I want to make sure that we go through that. So the next question is, does having a master's degree from Austria play a significant role in a German PhD application? So what if someone has a degree from another country, a master's or a PhD, bachelor's? Does it matter where the student received the undergraduate or graduate degree? Is there an advance? Did you have an advance in like maybe having a degree from Europe, or does that not matter? Basically, as long as you have a bachelor's or a master's degree, you are eligible to apply for a graduate degree in Germany.
Yes, I would agree with that. It doesn't really matter where your bachelor or your master program degree comes from. It's important, of course, that you, as I mentioned earlier, there are some. If you, for example, want to study a master's program that builds on a bachelor program, then you need to prove that you have already studied in that field. It's called the consecutive master program in Germany. And so you can't just come with any kind of field. You need to have a specific subject field that you already covered in your bachelor studies, and then you have to have some credit points from a specific field. So it depends always what you need to bring with you in order to apply to a program. And I don't think there's a benefit coming from Europe or from the US. It just depends on what you've done before, how your grades are, and with the master program, if how you do in the application process. Since it's a competitive process, you will have to prove that you're qualified. You will be maybe interviewed, or you might have to write a motivation, and you just need to kind of show what you've done and what is relevant for the program going forward.
Okay, thank you, Kata. You basically, by the way, you're kind of breaking up. Did you change anything with your microphone? Okay. Well,
okay, sorry.
I think now it's better. And I actually have a follow-up question, because I have someone here who has already a master's degree, and I do receive this question quite frequently. So the question would be, if you already have a master's degree and you don't necessarily want to continue with a PhD, but just would like to expand and apply for a second master's, is that possible at the LMU or the Freie Universität Berlin?
Yes, it's possible, and there are two different kinds of masters. One is the consecutive master program, and the other one is non-consecutive, and that would be the professional master, where you would where you could come with any kind of background, bachelor or master, but with work experience. Mm-hmm. But with the consecutive master that I just mentioned earlier, you kind of need to have some previous knowledge in that field that you want to study. Mm-hmm. And so, if you want to do another master, you already have a master. I wonder, it does depend on what you studied, of course. For many programs, so it depends again. Mm-hmm. But if you have a specific question, you can email me afterwards, and I can see with the program coordinators in Berlin or Munich if that's a specific advantage, having an additional degree before applying to a master degree.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a question that, of course, every student has when they apply to a degree program. How competitive is it? So how competitive are typically the master's programs? And then how is it comparable to the United States grad schools? Are you are you able to say anything about that?
Yeah, they are competitive, but it kind of depends again on the program. Some have more applicants than they can accept, and some have just the right number in a way. So it's competitive, and it's hard to know from the outside, of course, which programs are already kind of full and where it's kind of harder to get into. But the good thing is you have to apply, and you have to kind of show that you're the right person, and so you can stand out with your application and your experience and try to show that you're the right person for this program. So it's competitive, but it's also there are also ways to show more than just the previous grades by writing a good motivation letter, by having references from your supervisors. And so you have to check, each program requires different documents. You have to check what they want to see from you, then really get all the documents together, and then of course excel in the interviews or the exam. And always, yeah, I think it's good if it's in competitive, then it's really it's rewarding to get the spot then afterwards if you get the spot.
Okay. I have a question from a student, and I assume there are more students out there with a similar question. So does the University in Munich and Berlin and Munich as a city in general, do they accommodate options for grad students with disabilities in terms of housing, but also in terms of classrooms and otherwise, like for a student who would move to either of those cities for a daily life? Is that something where the cities can accommodate, or are there special like offices, for example, on campus that help students with disabilities? And here it's, I would say, probably not just physical, but also mental, students with issues with mental problems.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. There are both universities, and many, of course, all the other universities in Germany, they offer support and have an office for students with special needs or disabilities. So there is definitely a support structure in place, and it's important to get in touch with them or with me, and I can help you connect with them. So it definitely there is a support structure in place, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next the question is actually for me for DAAD funding. So if someone has received funding in the past through DAAD, this will neither help nor will it hinder the next application. It's basically the committee will look at the application that's submitted at that point, and if someone has a great application that's competitive with either a study proposal or a research proposal that is that's very good, then regardless of if the student or the researcher had a previous grant through either DAAD or maybe another organization, will then be considered for the grant at the same time if someone previously received funding, but the application, just either the research proposal isn't thought through or the study proposal isn't very competitive, then the student, even though he or she received funding in the past, doesn't necessarily receive doesn't have any advantage in that application cycle. For DAAD, really, as if students receive funding as an undergraduate, they are always eligible in the later step of their academic career. But again, just because you may have received funding in the past doesn't guarantee future funding. So you will always have to make sure to really work hard on your application to be competitive when it comes to applying for grants to study or to research. Okay, there are a few comments here. I'm going through the questions. There are a lot of questions here today, so thank you very much for that. That's really interesting where you're all at in your academic careers and what you're looking at. So here's a question again. This is about funding opportunities. We missed the November 4th deadline for the study grant. Can a student enroll in the German program for the upcoming fall and then apply for the grant for the second year of the studies? Yes, that's absolutely possible. The only requirement for that will be that a student hasn't lived in Germany more than 15 months by the time of the application. So if a student is just moving to Germany to maybe start a program either in Berlin or Munich, then the student can definitely apply in November. Presumably it'll be in November 4th again for the second year. So that's absolutely possible. And I know quite a few students who didn't receive any funding, and because there are no tuition fees and the living expenses are fairly low, students can fund themselves just by working. And students are allowed to work in Germany. They can work on campus and off campus. And Katja, are there any local in funding opportunities that are available for students that are maybe the international offices in Berlin or Munich can help students with? Are there any other grants that are available to students that maybe didn't receive funding through DAAD or Fulbright?
That you can then apply from Germany. Yes, I think it's important to speak to, if depends what you're doing, but if you have a supervisor for a PhD, you should speak to them. Maybe there are some specific grants from in your field that we yet now here not know about, so there are always some, and they also, many of them are listed on the websites of the both universities. There are lots of foundations in Germany, and so there is a big pool of money and grants that you could apply to, and the supervisor usually has experience with what works for his or her field. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned, Hani, the working. Yes, you can work on the side when you're a master or a PhD student. You could either, as Hani said, work on campus, and then there are no limitations. If you work in outside the campus, then you can, as a non-EU citizen, you would be allowed to work 120 full days or 240 half days. So there are some limitations to working while being a student, but it's in general, it's possible to earn money on the side or become a academic assistant. They're called wissenschaftlicher Mitarbeiter or Hilfswissenschaftler. So there are options working in your field on campus while studying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, if you didn't receive or you don't receive funding through maybe Fulbright or DAAD, there are other opportunities to maybe get a small grant that's offered locally, or to really work either on campus or off campus. And just to add to the DAAD grants, the first remark I received this question if why other regions are not included in this DAAD discussion, because this webinar is offered through the DAAD North America office, and I'm located in San Francisco, and we primarily have our target audience in the US and Canada. We do have offices worldwide, but all DAAD grants are administered locally. So for us, it would be the US and Canada, but we have many offices. We have more than 70 offices worldwide, and in each country we have opportunities for undergraduates and graduates. And so if you are not in the US or Canada, but you are interested in DAAD funding, you can just look up your local DAAD office, and you can find funding that's available in other regions of the world. You can go to www.funding-guide.de, and that is a database and really includes all funding opportunities for all regions in the world. And but the second remark is about the study scholarship and the research grant and the acceptance rate and how competitive it is. I know that's always a question that I receive from applicants. So for the study scholarship, it's usually about 1 to 10. Sometimes it may be higher, sometimes it's lower. Remember, DAAD is a funding organization that's funded by the German government and different entities of the German government. So we are always dependent on the funding that is available each year, and that is always different each year. But we try to offer about the same amount of scholarships and funding every year. But then, of course, it also depends on how many apply. But it's about a 1 to 10 ratio of students who receive funding through DAAD every year. And that is also, just to add, you are not compared with, maybe if you're in the natural sciences, your application will not be compared with someone from the humanities, but rather there will be committees devoted to humanities and the natural sciences. And so you will really be only compared to applicants that are in your own field. And the committee will consist of professors from your field, so it's an informed reader who will read your either study proposal or a research proposal. I don't see any other new questions here in this Q&A. This was really a great group of questions that I received. Again, we are available via email or phone if you have any follow-up questions, and I will send out the link to the recording by tomorrow, the very latest, so you can listen to this webinar again, and you can also review the information in the slides that I will also upload on our daad.org webinar page. Before I close this webinar for today, Katja, is there anything that you would like to add to your presentation that you maybe would like to add after you presented and after you had a chance to go through the questions?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for your interest, and both universities, Freie Universität and LMU Munich, they look forward to welcoming you. And we, the German University Alliance, we offer advice, so you can really come and email us or call me, and we're here for your questions and also follow-up questions, or if I didn't answer everything, please let me know, and we'll be in touch. And yeah, we look forward to having you in Germany for a great experience studying, doing research, and thank you.
Thank you, Katja, and again, thank you to the audience today. Watch out for other webinars in the future. I will post upcoming webinars on our website as well. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you or hear from you soon in the future. Goodbye.